This video is going to show you how to create a DSR. First, you're going to go over to the top left where you see the Create button and click that. Once you've been certified to create DSRs, you'll notice that you have the external channel button here. And if you don't have that, you want to just go ahead and let us know so that we can permit you to create a DSR. So click the external channel and you'll see two options. You can create a new channel, or you can start from a template, which is something I'm going to show you how to do later. So let's just create one from scratch for now and hit next. So once you get started to create a DSR, it'll prompt you to add the title. So this is something that you can change depending on the purpose of the DSR. So for this example, let's just go ahead and call it DSR example, but you can name it, whatever you think is relevant. Perhaps you're showcasing a product and you want to name it the product. Maybe this is something that's going to help you communicate with clients, and you're going to add your name and their name, and this is where you're going to house the meeting recordings and your resources. So whatever the purpose of the DSR is, you're going to want to name that, and you can always change the name later if you think that there's something that's more relevant. But for now, let's just go ahead and do DSR example. And you can add a logo here. So if you're going to be sharing this with a client and you want to make it customized to them, you can add their logo for like a nice touch, or you can add your own logo or a little image. And then you can write a custom message if you'd like. You also have the option to hide the banner, which is something I'm going to show you here in a second. For now, let's just leave it on so that you can see what the banner looks like. For now, I'm going to just drag and drop an image here, so that way you can see kind of what that's going to look like. So let's say I want to do my Sparks IQ logo, and I'm just going to search for that. And I have many of them. So I'm going to just drag and drop, let's say this one right here. And so this is what it would look like. But you can, add really any image that's relevant to you in the purpose of the DSR. So let's hit save. And now you'll notice that you have a lot more options. So it takes a second, but now my external channel has been created. So this thumbnail that we just uploaded, this is where that goes. And you can decide not to have one there. You can also decide whether or not you want this banner. So this is the banner. And at the very beginning, when we set this up, you can just click to remove the banner, or you can click these three dots here. You can edit the properties, and now you can decide, no, I want to hide the banner, and you can click that and hit save, and you'll notice that that will just disappear. These banner content, the content that's in the banner, like the picture, that's something that you can customize as part of your department. So you can create like a template banner that you're always going to use, for example. So this is what it looks like without a banner. We can go ahead and just go back and edit my properties, and let's leave the banner up for now. I've hit save, and now we're going to move on to the next step, which is adding content to your new DSR. So this says, this external channel is empty. You can click to add or import content or insert a smart panel. So you're welcome to use these here. And I'm going to show you another way to do this, which is to go up to these three dots again, click that, and then go to add and organize content. So there's two ways to kind of get to the same thing. So click add and organize content. And now it's going to give you some options on the top right. So you can start by adding sections, or you can add content first and add sections next. It's totally up to you and your workflow. But let's say I know that I'm going to be adding specific sections because I'm going to create a DSR that's going to communicate with my client, and I'm going to want a section for, our meetings. And so I can do that. So I can add a section. And so the section is just basically like a little heading. Let's say I'm going to send this DSR to a prospective client, and I want to introduce them to some of the relevant members of the buying committee or members of the team who we're going to meet with shortly. I can say, meet the team, for example, and then I just hit enter. And you'll see here, you can list it in the navigation, which is going to go on the left-hand side, or you can not list it, and you can come back and change all of those things later. So I'm just going to hit save and exit so you can see what the navigation looks like. So every time you create a section on the top left, that exact same thing that you typed in will show up here. So one quick thing to note, when I typed in meet the team, the M was capitalized and I left the other letters lowercase, but it defaulted to all uppercase letters inside the DSR. So it's just something to keep in mind. So if you have like random casing and you think it doesn't matter because it's all going to default to uppercase, that's actually not true because it will show up here on the left. So whether you want to do all uppercase for both or, sentence case, it doesn't really matter. It's just, I wanted to point it out so that you're aware that anytime you create a section, you will also be seeing it here, which can be really helpful as a navigation tool if you end up with lots of sections. So let's say I'm going to start with my Meet the Team section. Let's go back to the three dots, add and organize content. And I'm going to add content now because I want some videos about my team members so that when I send the DSR, the people who are watching it can meet my team members before my meeting or something like that. So let's go add content. And on the left-hand side, you'll see newest. And this is all content that people in your organization have certified for external sharing. So you can add content that you have created, but you can also add content that other people at your organization have uploaded into Empower and have certified that it's safe to share externally. If you don't know what the content is, you may just want to talk to them about it before adding it to a DSR to ensure that content wasn't custom for a different reason. But this is a really great place where, for example, your marketing team can add a lot of content that then anybody in the organization can add to the DSR. In this case, I'm going to use About Me videos that my team has created. And so I could just scroll through all this stuff and find them. Like, for example, Lee is on my team and Jason is on my team, and I've selected them now. And I can hit add content. Or I can search for them. So let's just go ahead and add content first so that you see that where it ends up, it defaults over here. And then you're going to want to click and drag and move it underneath the Meet the Team section. The other way to do it is to hit add content and let's search. Let's say Gila, I'm going to want to search for Gila Stern because she's also on my team. And so these are the videos that she has uploaded. And this one is certified to share externally. And you'll notice that because you see that red square with the white globe. So I'm just going to click on that and I'm going to hit add content. And then I'll just click and drag and I'll move it to the right of Lee. And you'll notice that blue line is now a vertical line, as opposed to if I was dropping it somewhere else, it might be a horizontal line. So this line just shows, where are you trying to drop this piece of content. So the next thing I'm going to do is add my own content. So I can, instead of searching through newest and instead of searching up here, I can click the Your Content tab, which is where I know I've uploaded my own About Me video, and I can scroll through it, or I can also search through my own content as well. So I can scroll through here, and I've created a lot of content. And let's just go ahead and add this one. And now I can place it over here. And let's say these are the 4 people from my team who are going to be in the meeting. This is a great use case for DSRs because it can save valuable time if you're going to have a large virtual meeting, for example. So let's go ahead and just hit save and exit. And now you'll see what this looks like. So we've added content to the DSR. So what else do we think we might want to add? Well, that all depends on the purpose of the DSR. So let's continue going with this example where this is the purpose of this DSR is to share ahead of a meeting. So we might want to share with them examples of what we do. That way they can learn a little bit about us ahead of our meeting. And so I'm going to go ahead and click these three dots, add and organize content, and I'm going to add another section. So in this section, I'm going to maybe say about us. And you can name it whatever you want. And then if you mess up and you want to rename it, you can just double click here and then it'll allow you to change the text. And I'm going to keep this listed in the navigation on the left side. If you ever didn't want it listed, you can just deselect that. Or you can delete easily that way. And I don't have to save and exit. I can just go ahead and add my content. So let's add content. And I'm going to want to add let's say a reel, which is an overview of some of the content that we produce on the studio team. So let's click that and I'm going to add this. And then I'm also going to want to add some trailers of some of the courses that we produce. So let's see here, trailer. And now it'll show my negotiation trailer, the virtual selling course that we do. We do a course on relationship quotient, modern sales foundation, sales coaching excellence. And let's say, these are the relevant pieces of information that matter to these people who we're going to be meeting with. And I want to add all of these. Well, let's go ahead and move them all down under About Us. And to move this last one, you just click it and drop it. And then you can move them around. Like, let's say I actually want them to watch this one first. Well, then you can go ahead and move that over there. Or let's say, I changed my mind. I want the Meet the Team section above the About Us section. All you would do is hover over here, click, and then just drag it. And you see that blue horizontal line basically just tells you, this is where you want to drag and drop.